Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Messerschmitt 100 here, back with another tank review. Today I have a very special tank for you. It is the T-28E with F-30 cannon. It's a Soviet Tier 4 medium tank, premium. It was on sale yesterday in the advent calendar for December of this year, 2015. I highly recommend you pick him up. Just wait until the replay and you will see how effective this thing is. But first, let us go over the stats in the garage. Well, actually, before we do that, let's look at the vehicle details. Well, as it says here, only one prototype was created with the long-barreled 85mm F-30 cannon, and it doesn't seem like it was used in action or mass-produced. Now, first, why do you just to clear up? Why would they put a 85mm cannon into a T-28, which were already obsolete during the invasion of the Soviet Union, or Operation Barbarossa? Well, very simple. You have already a tank that you are mass producing by the hundreds, and all you do is stick a bigger gun into it. This thing is cheaper, because when you have to, let us say, if you're going to from producing a T-28 to a T-34, you have to change a lot more than just the parts and production. You have to change the production line. Often the size of the plants has to be upgraded to make room for these tanks, and they have different engines, many of them different parts, different suspension, and so forth. So if you already have facilities set up to produce exemplary a T-28, it's much easier to upgrade it rather than to change or set up an entirely new facility to produce T-34s. That's also why the T-34s got upgraded with the 85mm gun instead of taking an entirely new tank. So that's why this thing was at least designed and tested, because they wanted to have something that people already knew how to build, and you're already building a tank and you got the cannon, so why not? Clearly they had some problems with it. I can already guess what, but we will be coming to that later. In the game, statistics: 380 hit points. That is not a lot. Taken into, well, it has the same hit points as a Valentine 2, so it isn't bad, but it could be certainly better. It weighs 33 tons with my upset. I haven't added any consumables or equipment on this, not yet, but I will. Top speed is 35 kilometers per hour, and it reaches that speed quite okay. It is a bit sluggish, not too bad. It reaches it quite fast with its 500 horsepower engine. I mean, it has a 15.15 horsepower per ton, so it is not exactly the best tank in terms of acceleration. It has a very good 36 degrees of traverse speed. This thing traverses quite fast, especially when you consider the size of this thing. Armor. That is what was so crappy with the normal T-28. Let's pull up the vehicle details on that one. This thing is upgraded. The normal T-28 has 30mm. This at the hull, 30 in the front, 20 sides and rear. This thing has 50 in the front, 40 at the side, and 50 again at the rear, so it's a lot more better armored. but again, it's not, very good. The turret is 50 in the front, 40 side, and 40 rear. So it is not horrible news, not like the abysmal 20 millimeters on the standard turret of the T-28. If we go and check on its conic turret, it is just 5 more millimeters, and it won't really do shit. So watch out for artillery, because this thing gets one-shotted immediately. You're dead. Hetzers is going to penetrate you with ease. But something that is quite troll is the sloping of the back here, which people can ricochet off. It has happened before with me. I believe it was a 2-pounder gun like on the Valentine that actually bounced off from me. That was about at this angle. It hit around here and it bounced off. But now, as we're talking about the armor, let's talk about the horrendously shit. This thing has this turret in the front, and this is a fantastic shot trap. If you don't know what a shot trap is, it means that the shell has nowhere else to ricochet off than going straight into the tank at one place. And this thing has one on each side. When the turret is rotated, that's also a shot trap here in the front and here on the left. Machine gun port turret. Weak spot also machine gun port right there. I don't think this is probably stronger than the rest of the turret. Not a weak spot. Here is the radiator, so yeah, hit this thing and you will just go straight through. Again, shot trap. I just like to point out the different design problems with this thing. So yeah, not really good. Turret traverse speed is a very good 40 degrees a second. I was surprised at the turning speed, which I will come back to later. But now, let's take a look at the gun. And also, while we're at it, I want to compare it to the top guns on the normal T-28. So let us just compare here real quick. This is at the highest the guns that you can research on the normal T-28. So it's a bigger caliber than all of them. Rate of fire is also slower because of the caliber. But now we go to the average penetration, which is better than both guns. So that's good. Not by much by the 57 ZIS-4, but still it is more. Less on the armor-piercing composite rigid with the 57 ZIS-4, but more penetration all around than with the 76mm derp gun, which is a horrible gun. Never use it. And it has better damage than all of the guns because it's larger caliber. And accuracy, it is actually laying between both of the guns, so it has pretty much it has a little bit less shot spread or shot spread than the howitzer, but less than the long barrel 57 gun, which is understandable. But the aim time, this is this is artillery levels of aim time. It has 3.2 second aim time, longer than the howitzer on the normal T-28, and it's horrible, absolutely horrible. But now I came to actually what I really wanted, and that is the weight. They weigh about 750 kilos each, both the 76 and the 57 on the normal T-28, but this thing weighs twice as much. And here's the reason I think it did not reach the battlefield. And why I'm surprised that the turret turns so fast. This thing would be too heavy for the normal turret on the T-28 and the turret ring. Not only will the turret ring have when the turret is used a lot, it puts pressure on the turret ring. But since this weighs 1.5 tons, it's going to put a lot more pressure towards where the gun is pointing and eventually ruin the turret ring or deforming it. So that is not something you want. That will happen. And just this thing, if we take a look at the turret, this thing weighs about it weighs a little bit less than a fourth of the turret. It weighs around 20% of the turret weight. And having that additional weight in the front can be catastrophic under long-term use. Now, that it is important to notice that the engines on these things broke down pretty quickly. They weren't meant for being operational over longer periods of time, so the engine will probably not, be keeping up. I mentioned the rate of fire, and it's quite good. It could be better. You should equip a medium caliber tank and rammer on this. But what you just have to. You cannot go without enhanced gun lane drive, and I really suggest that you take improved ventilation. And maybe coated optics. You must choose between the ventilation and coated optics. But what I suggest you do is taking a medium caliber tank and rammer, and if you want to play this seriously, you must, I repeat, you must have an enhanced gun lane drive. This thing uses 5 years to aim. I mean, the war will be over when this thing is finished aiming, and it is not accurate when fully dispersed. It is horrible. Also, something I want to mention, it is the view range of this thing is completely abysmal shit, and the signal range is even more fantastically shit. The signal range of this thing is the worst thing I ever seen. It is absolutely horse shit. I know I swear quite a lot, but that is horrible at any standard. Seriously. So what I think you should do for one of the radio operators is to take, without doubt, signal boosting. Take that as a skill for one of the radio operators. It has 2. They sit in each of these 2 cupola thingies. Or even both. You can maybe take both with signal relaying, because I believe okay, only the high one will be effective. So let us go over to the perks and skills for Commander. You could choose between either Mentor, that's quite good. Recon, definitely is a good choice. Jack of all trades, not a terrible idea, because this thing has still pretty painful armor, even though it is not as near as horrible as the normal T-28. Sixth Sense and Eagle Vision, not really need to. And Brothers in Armor, that could also be helpful. Camouflage, this thing is huge, so don't bother. Repairs, maybe firefighting. Let's just watch the engine here. Not a terrible idea. Maybe 1 or 2 with fire fighting, but nothing more. The gunner just take snapshots, and after that research Deadeye. On the driver, since this thing has absolutely horrendous aiming time and turns very well, just go for smooth ride. It will help. It will help out a lot. I talked about radio operators, and we go to the loader, which has pretty abysmal skills, but maybe adrenaline rush, safe storage is it's good alternative, but I will first go with either repairs or firefighting. So yeah, it is actually a pretty good tank, as you will see in the review. I mean the replay. Sorry, this is review. So guys, let us jump over to the replay then. Okay, we are back to the replay, and well, you're going to see how this thing performs. And you're also going to see the absolutely horrible aiming time of this gun. Pretty much now. Now I turn my gun around. Look at that horrible aim. There you go. That is horrible. But I'm bouncing up the right side. I don't know why my replay is so laggy all of a sudden. At least for me. Well, we keep on with it. It's not horrible. Yeah, but again you can also see the turret traverse. It's really quick. And the hull traverse is also, as mentioned, not bad at all for this tank, considering its size. Heading out towards buildings now, I'm trying to get the initiative before the enemy takes it, because then we'll never get it back. Once some people get entrenched in here, you cannot root them out. And they will be free to attack you at will, including the artillery, which luckily is only one here. So I'm moving carefully through the city. I don't want to tip over that tree, so I just reverse out again. Because, you know, red flag to artillery if they are looking in bad direction. If you look at the minimap, you will see the absolutely horrible signal range, because, you know, half of my team is out of range from my radar. I mean radio range, sorry. And this is something you should never do. I was quite sure there was no tank destroyers here. We have received really little fire from the guys at E6, so I was pretty safe about this. And then suddenly FCM Pack 40 shows up. So I immediately hide behind this rock so that other people can shoot at him. Matilda is behind the buildings, I cannot get him. You see, he has been hit. So I hit forward, fire shot, miss. Reloading the gun and take him out. That's one kill. Matilda's only 2 hit points left, and there's another Matilda there. We're going to race. Who will manage to take out the Matilda? It's close, it's close. I will not be able to aim now. Hoping for RNG. Fire and just take him. Sorry, he was 0.1 second too late. Oh, T-40. Yeah, 0.1 second too late, Matilda. I'm sorry. And my third kill. Type 91 is destroyed before I can take him out. But I keep on going. So far so good. Only been hit twice. And there you can see the hit points of the vehicle. It is not terrible. It could be worse, but not terrible. RNG on the artillery. Thank you very much. I'm happy now, and I see the Panzer III is making a move for it, and I want to try to stop him. But again, I have little hit points, so I just want to hide my hole. There's the Panzer III, and barely miss him. There's the DV2, or the Rumberwagen, or Demented Waste, as I like to call it, because that tank is shit. This is not a reference to the player, it's just a tank I have a problem with. So Panzer III is taking on our T-28, which is also in the process of getting attacked from the rear by an Electo. So he destroys our T-28. I knock him out. Elector comes around the corner. They get the gun reloaded and shoot him. That's Top Gun. Top Gun in this thing. I did not expect that one. But now I really have to hide and load arm-piercing composite rigid because I know it's a Hetzer coming right out of that corner. And I stop. And this Hetzer is also quite a good player, I must say. So, now it is the waiting game. Tries to make me shoot. But I don't want to lose this replay now that I have Top Gun, so I just wait patiently for him as I notice one of our tanks going around him at E3. Does not fire. I don't have a proper shot yet, although I could maybe have penetrated him at the mantlet. He fires once, explosives, just to be safe. I reverse, and he is about to get taken out, so I just rush forward, but he is destroyed. So that was the T-28E with the F-30 80mm cannon. Thank you so much guys for watching, and well, leave me in the comments what do you think about this tank. I think it is really exciting. For the price I paid for it, it was very little. It is so much fun for the money. I bought it for, I think it was €9 or something. Yeah, €9, and it's totally worth it. It is one of the funnest tank I have ever driven. It is a marking approval over the abysmal T-28, which was a real horse shit of a tank. This thing is not. This thing can do absolutely do damage. And yeah, thank you so much for watching guys. Subscribe to the channel to see more of tanks and more of tanks to replace like this. Anyway guys, that was all for me. Keep your barrel clean, your ammo dry, and I'll see you on the battlefield.